Okay, let's get this party started. All right, just making sure I got a little bit of audio going on here, and we'll get started. Looks like our audio is going okay, and good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? We're going to be having some fun tonight, and we'll get started in a minute or so. But going back a couple slides here, let me get my contact information back up. My name is Paul Angeli. I'm a live action storyboard artist, and here is my contact information if you'd like to get in touch with me, either for a storyboard project for a feature film or indie film or a animated show or something like that, commercial, etc. You can reach me at mr.paul.angeli@gmail.com. You can find my website at www.paulangeli.com. And a lot of people are contacting me via Instagram. There's my Instagram handle there. And then also over here on YouTube. Again, I thank you all for joining in the live stream. Appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to come and hang out with me. So thank you so much for joining. Let's see what we have on the chat. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I appreciate you joining on. Let me check the chat here. Drop a line in the chat. Let me know you're represented here and call you out over here on the live stream. I got Ronnie joining us tonight. Appreciate you. Ronnie says, good evening, Paul. Probably stick around for half the stream or so, but excited to get some drawing in. Ronnie, me too. So we're going to have a good time tonight. So again, please, if you're watching the show, please go ahead and drop a line in there. Say hi. We had a lot of new faces come into our Mastering the Basics course on Tuesday, and I appreciate everybody coming in and working with me. Let's go back into real quick for those of you that are new or catching this on the replay. Let me talk about the programming that I have coming up to you each week. So at this point in time, we have 3 different live sessions I've been hosting. Today is the end of the second month. We've started up this YouTube channel about 2 months ago, and this is the final stream for November. And I think we've streamed every single week. I think this is number 23 in the stream, so I appreciate everybody joining in. A couple things just to go over the programming, how I work out my weekly schedule with live streams. So on Tuesday, I do the Mastering the Basics series. And on the Mastering of the Basics series, we're teaching everything about storyboarding. We're giving you great how-tos, tutorials on how to storyboard and the functions of the craft of storyboarding. This last week we did a revision on our thumbnails based on a feature live action script, and but we've talked about all different things. We've talked about composition, some storyboard cheats on how to get quicker in your drawings. We've talked about shots. Camera shots. We've talked about camera angles. We've talked about camera movement. We've been going through this series of, we have a script called Jurassic Time Loop that we've been working with, and we created shot lists. We created some concept designs. We learned how to break down a script for storyboarding, and then we also have been thumbnailing and getting towards those rough final approved storyboards. And I think last week was pretty fun too, because we talked about line art, we talked about black and white, grayscale, and full color storyboards. On Thursdays is a fun event, and it's for our time to get going on our sketching. I think it's really important to sketch as much as you can. It's part of our craft, and that's what we're going to be doing today. And then on Saturdays, we have our storyboard jam sessions where I pick out a topic. I know during the whole month of October, we did everything on Halloween or horror type based jam sessions where we're storyboarding out a sequence. And I think we've done like Shark Week, we've done Gladiators, we've done Tarzan, we've done so many different variations of what we've been doing. So great stuff here coming to you on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and of course on Saturdays. And so since tonight's our Thursday night, this is our sketching after hours. I am so impressed with everybody's work who's been submitting work. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So you that are drawing along with me tonight, Ronnie and all my other friends joining the stream, please feel free. Drop me a DM on Instagram. I love to see your artwork. It gets me so excited to see everybody's artwork and what everybody's working on. And I think last week I gave Andreas and I give the same advice to everybody else. Take what we're doing and make it your own. There's one thing to study and practice, but then take this imagery that you're creating, either for storyboards or your sketches. You create your own work out of that. I use this sketching time. I think it's really important, and I know Ronnie's heard this, is make sure you have that sketchbook with you. Sketch a little bit per day. You don't need to do as much as I do, but get a few minutes in, do some doodles, get that going. There's one thing to teach yourself how to draw, and then I sort of think about it is when I'm storyboarding, I'm spending 8, 10 more hours storyboarding sequences for a film or whatever project I'm being asked to do, and then you sit there and you don't draw at all on your own. How do you explore? How do you get better at your craft? You got to put in the time. You got to put in the reps. You got to put in the pencil mileage to get good at what you're doing. And when you're doing it, everybody goes, "Wow, you're magical. You just make it look so easy." It didn't come easy. It took years and years and years of diligence and practice. So that's why I have nights like tonight with sketching, after hours, to help you guys have a time. And we have this time together. As long as you can stay on the live chat or catch this on the replay, have some fun with it, build that portfolio, fill these books up, and get those things done. I do the same type of thing, friends. I'm sitting there sketching all the time. I just use copy paper, nothing. I'm just practicing. I think I did a quick little video of this particular image today. I've done all different types, and sometimes the images go great, sometimes the images go not so hot. But we're just putting in that practice each and every day as I'm practicing, and to get better at honing our craft. So again, if we haven't met before, my name is Paul Angeli. I am a live action storyboard artist, and coming to you from I'm over here on the East Coast. It's 5 till midnight over here. This is sort of my quiet time that I can hang out with you guys and have some fun and get going. So let me look at the chat real quick, and then we'll get into our lessons and our sketching for today. So again, Ronnie was here. Thanks so much. I got JRTist 831. Let's see, myself is being played by myself tonight since myself is out with the call. Oh, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. I hope you feel better, GRTist 831. I really do. It's that time of the year. Over here on the East Coast, it is so cold out here right now. I'm waiting. There's been a couple flurries. We haven't been hit with the snow yet, but I'm waiting for it. And boy, is it cold. I'm over here wearing a sweater in my office trying to keep warm myself and keep going. And, but good evening yourself, and I do hope you feel better, and hope you get a little bit of sketching in. If not, catch this on the replay, and then go ahead and sketch with me. Cool. And then Ronnie, I've been feeling stuck in my art lily, and I feel like I'm not improving much in terms of anatomy, but I know it'll pay off. I just draw and draw, even if it's difficult. Ronnie, I think I hope I could share a little bit of your story with folks. And there was a couple of you that reached out to me from our last live stream, and I think there are a couple comments like I felt really shaky, my drawing was shaky, and whatever. And a big piece of advice I give to you, friends, is push through it. Everybody has they could call it artistic block. It's not working, and sometimes I run into it too. And a couple tricks to get out of the, what do you call it, the funk? To get out of the funk is draw something you know how to draw, and then go forward. I practice every day. There isn't a day that I do not draw. Even if it's 5 minutes or hours, I will draw. And this is, I'm not talking work or professional work. I'm just talking myself and honing your craft. I think it is so important. That's why I'm hosting these sketching after hours sessions, because I think it's so important for you to sit down, have some quiet time, and draw. I don't care if your drawing is the Mona Lisa or if it is a stick figure. I don't care what your drawing is, because think about it like this. I think of like I have my youngest son is a big martial artist. He's a wrestler. He's a big fan of a lot of bodybuilders, MMA guys, all sorts of stuff. And I think just like an athlete, you need to practice your sport, right? You sit there and you watch people dribble. They're playing basketball, or they're shooting, and they're shooting and shooting and shooting, and right hand and left hand, and they practice, and it's drill after drill after drill. Same thing with martial arts. For those of you that are martial artists out there, you go to your dojo or your place of training. You leave your outside life. You're focused on your art, of your craft, of your martial art. You're paying attention to your instructors, or if there's a master in that type of setting. You're giving your full attention. You're giving your full focus into what that is, and that's why you bow in or you bow out, because you're committed to practicing your art. And I use the same type of philosophy when I am drawing myself. I am dedicated. I have set schedule of time of when I'm going to draw. I maybe not have an idea of what I need to focus on. I'll keep a diary of these are the things I need to work on or improve on, or I would sit there and go, these are areas where I want to focus. And or I saw an artist that inspired me, and that's where I'm hoping I'm inspiring you at home. Get the stylus out. I don't care what it is. Get your pen, get your pencil, get your markers out and just draw. And at times we're working on things that inspire us, and sometimes we just got to push through. And maybe that perspective isn't working for you that day, or whatever it might be. But just push through it. That's why a lot of the time I'll just doodle on copy paper. As a storyboard artist, these images I'm creating, I could draw this again just in my mind, you know what I mean? Because I put the practice into this. And I just practice every day. I use paper. I have so many sketchbooks here, but sometimes I just get rid of this, like I said, I was talking about my youngest, and he's my biggest fan, and he collects all my artwork and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's just a doodle I was working on, and it means the world to him, so I let him have all that stuff. But to me, it's like I remember, and I'll tell you a quick little story, and we'll get into it. I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but I think it's really important for those artists that have artist block. You gotta, like I said, push through it, and maybe you might have a bad day. It's okay, you're exhausted, because you got to remember, you're mentally thinking, you're communicating, your brain is communicating to your hand is communicating to your brain, you're loose and you're going and you're having fun, and you're trying to keep it all together. And some days it's just all working, it's like magic, wow, I can draw anything. And other days you're like, dang man, I can't even draw a stick figure today. So it is all different, and what I love about storyboarding is it's really rough. We're not trying to do some final illustration, I sit there and I'll mention a few comic artists like Frank Cho, because we were about drawing faces today. There's a comic artist, Frank Cho. He did a series called Liberty Meadows. He's done all sorts of beautiful drawings. He's had so many different inspirations from Frazetta to Boris Vallejo, all these different, but he draws a wonderful, knows female anatomy like that, and that's just amazing. Or you have the late Pepe Gonzalez that did the beautiful drawings of Vampirilla, and through that comic. Or you have somebody today, who's mostly drawing his his comic women, would be something like J. Scott Campbell, and he's been working with Disney and does all these beautiful covers and has his own style of what's going on in terms of what he's doing. And it's like, or you're looking at, just illustrators, whether you're looking at something like Hal Foster back in the day, or current contemporary artists out there, illustrators. You look at the pinup girls and all these different artists, and you put that practice in. These things didn't come to all these people so easy. They put a lot of hours of practice and studying. But like we were talking about, just with the artist block, I had a quick story I was going to tell. I remember back in the day when I was working on my bachelor's degree, I had a really interesting degree that I created myself. But I remember taking a drawing class, and I'll never forget my drawing teacher. He ended up, I guess he had created the original print for those Batman fans out there of the Joker card. That was what his claim to fame, Corbin Lapel, And I remember taking his class and drawing class, and we had to go outside, go grab a stick of, like a stick or a leaf or something like that. And he asked a question, and so I did this. I spent my time working on that, and you have the old where you sit on the bench and you have your pad there, and I'm sitting there drawing just graphite, drawing this oak branch with a couple of leaves and an acorn on it. So I spent this time on it. I figured it out, and studied the anatomy of the plant and all that stuff, and drew everything, and worked on it quite a bit. And Corbin came over to me and said, "Well, hey, listen, Paul, what are you going to do with this? What if I told you if I ripped up your drawing?" And I said, you know what, Corbin? I thought I'd be fine with that, because now I have the process memorized. I can replicate that again. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And so I take those memories back into what I do today as a storyboard artist, and you can't fall in love with the drawing. You're doing the mechanics of, because you're drawing as a filmmaker, you're drawing as an artist, you're drawing something that's disposable at the same time, because we want to invoke the vision of where the director or screenwriter, where the client is trying to go for either for a commercial or a feature film. We're here to tell a story, and I'm not here to draw the prettiest drawings in the whole world. But I'll give you those basics of today. So I'm not going to do a typical, like, hey, you draw a circle. We could play that game too and have some fun. And there's some fantastic teachers out there. But I'm sort of like, hey, listen, what do I need to draw to get my storyboards done? How do I show some emotions, some different angles, and those type of things? That was what we're sort of focusing on. So let me go back over here. So Ronnie, I hope that answers your question a little bit and sort of gives you some pep to get you back in and get you drawing. So I really appreciate and just being here and being consistent on what you're doing. I'm trying to be consistent for you out there on the live stream, and be consistent for those of you that are watching on the replay, that we know that on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays I'm here, and I hope you can join me. So, and that's how we all stay consistent and passionate about what we do. No matter what I'm doing for work or what's going on at home or those type of things, I'm trying to be there to be your support, as well as you support me to help me grow this channel. So I thank you all. Let's see who else we got here. I got Gabby's here. Nice to see you back in, Gabby. Hello, good evening, everyone. I got my buddy Tornado T back again from Alaska. Welcome back, Tornado T. Good to see you. Ronnie's like, hey. And then we got Juan Emmanuel. How you doing? Hi, I got a question. What will be the difference between live action and animation storyboard artists? Hey, that's a great question. It is a bit of a difference in terms of what you're doing and how you're going about it. It all depends on what the production you're doing and where they're sort of going with it. If I'm doing a live action storyboard, it might be a little bit different. Some films, I've seen some live action storyboard artists, they'll storyboard the whole film from the beginning all the way to the end, and other storyboard artists will do a sequence, or they're focused on action scenes and they're doing that big car chase, or they're there to do a couple of the big beats of the section. Usually in the live action side, you'll see it as it's either a big scene that needs to be storyboarded out, a big action scene, or it's something with a lot of visual effects in it, and there's a lot of working parts to that. But there's all different variations of that. You saw the what was the movie, the newest rendition of Mad Max. That board artist literally frame by frame drew the whole movie via comic book style for that film. Other films do that too, or you see a lot of these Marvel shows, and there's a lot of fantastic pros out there working on all these, and they're working on a sequence. If you ever get a chance to check out my friend Eric Yamamoto, I know he worked on the Marvels, and with his stuff, he was doing a lot of the action sequences. And if you check out his Instagram, you can sort of see some of his work there. When you're looking at something like feature animation, they'll storyboard out those whole sequences. They have a little bit more time to get those things done, and you'll see pretty much everything storyboarded out. And whether it be, I know you can go online on YouTube and see a lot of storyboard artists that are working on Pixar work or Disney work, or some of these feature animations of the art of books. They'll storyboard pretty much the whole thing because it doesn't exist. So they'll storyboard pretty much everything for that particular that film. But they have, so when you're looking at live action, or you're looking at feature animation, there's going to be a little bit more time to be given to get those projects done. Then you have something like some sort of serialized animated TV show. There isn't a whole heck of a lot of time, and sometimes there's a fully boarded show, so they need to board every single shot. Another, what I mean by that is not only that, but the storyboard artists are creating the show, and or it's already pre-figured out. We were talking about something like the one version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you'll see a lot of their those story artists animatic, and it's literally watching the whole cartoon right there in drawing form before it even goes into production to have the final images created for the animation and stuff. So, but those type of turnarounds are quick. You got to be able to just stay on model, and that's another aspect of the feature animation style. You got to stay on model in terms of, if you're going to draw SpongeBob SquarePants, you better be able to draw Squidward and Patrick and SpongeBob SquarePants and all the different characters and have them on model. You can't draw your own version. There's a lot of, so I would say there's a wide variety, Juan Manuel, in terms of those different categories. Right now, I'm sort of been focusing a lot on live action, but I'd be happy to in future Mastering the Basics courses or some of our other stuff. Maybe we'll do a cartoon version, and we'll create our own cartoon and have some fun with that too. Let's see who else is on the chat, but I want to get drawing here. So Gabby was like, "We're glad to be back." Oh, no problem, Ronnie. Happy to share anything I can, with you and give back to you folks. Tornado T, likewise, Paul. Glad to join you for another stream. Always welcome. Always great to see you. Juan Emmanuel, could you also ask what software is better? I see a lot of studios ask for Storyboard Pro. I take a workshop. PF Storyboard. And they use Adobe Bridge and Photoshop for illustration. There's a lot there, and I'd start with the program. If you're just starting off, start off with the program that you work best with, right? And then grow from there. I used to teach Photoshop classes in college. I used to be a college instructor teaching, and I'm talking back in the day when it was like bare bones and it just came out. And so I know Photoshop pretty much inside and out. I did Painter. I've done a lot of different things over my years. And for me, I tend to like right now I'm using Photoshop for our sketching after hours, but I'll use different pieces of software depending on what the tool is. A majority of folks use Storyboard Pro. They use that because it has its animation capabilities with here. With Photoshop, it looks a little clunky. There's not a lot you can do with it. I'll usually port back and forth. Some people use a lot of these porting back and forth into different software pieces to get the functionality they want to do. I'm so used to Photoshop, and the other thing I do too is I'm using basic brushes that come with Photoshop when I'm doing these live sessions. I'm not using any type of fancy, yeah, and of course sometimes, but it's not I remember I saw it from another teacher, storyboard teacher out there too, a great person out there, and it's not the tool, it's you. It's your craft. It's your ability to draw, your ability to put composition together and perspective and anatomy and gesture drawing and emotion. That's you, and that's where we talk about. Maybe down the road we'll talk about AI and stuff like that. But that's where this is where the juice is coming from. This is where the creative ability is coming from. It's from you. It doesn't matter, and that's why I'll tell you guys. Sometimes I've just sat in front of a director with these two tools right here, and made some beautiful imagery just with those two things. And that's why I always, if you see some of my shorts or some of my reels on Instagram, I'm just using simple pens, because if you can do it with a simple pen on a napkin, you can make a beautiful drawing in Photoshop. The Photoshop isn't going to save you. The Storyboard Pro isn't going to save you. Painter's not going to save you. Blender's not going to save you. You have to have the skills. You have to have the chops. You have to have the ability to do it, and because you know what you're doing, and you make it look easy. So Juan Emmanuel, there's all different. It all depends on the project and what the team is using. If you're in a studio environment, or sometimes you're like me, where you're I'm remote. I can work from wherever I want, and being able to do that work, because we have such tools and technologies, we can have that communication at any point in time. A lot of the pros out there, buddy pros out there, they use Adobe Bridge as well, because they're trying to reconform or restructure their naming conventions or whatever it might be. But I would say that the main software, find that software that works for you, that you're able to create with. Okay. And I've seen storyboard artists just be able to try to take a picture of their drawings they're drawing on paper and submit those sometimes. I tend to use Photoshop. Others use Painter. Storyboard Pro, again, it's a widely recognized used tool. A lot of people are playing with the Blender, with the grease pencil function in Blender. I know a lot of people are getting into the Unreal Engine and working with some of their 3D animatics, and through Blender or the Unreal Engine. It all depends on what's being asked of you, and how do you feel comfortable, how do you perform, and there's some basic tools, and even something like TV Paint, and there's all different pieces, and there's some free ones out there too, and maybe I'll put together some videos about these different pieces of software, how to use them and stuff like that too, down the road. But if you can't draw and you don't know the basics, the tools and the software ain't going to help you. You've got to know what you're doing. So, and then on top of it, we didn't even talk about filmmaking. You got to be a virtual filmmaker as well. You got to know your shots. You got to know your tilts. You got to know your composition of how to make a great shot. So. That's a great answer, and make it clearer for me. Yeah, no problem. Yes, I feel you. The software is just a tool for your art skills and storytelling. And Juan Manuel, that is so true. My job is I'm a storyteller. I'm telling stories through my drawings. I'm capturing the essence and the vision of my director, the screenwriter, or my showrunner, or the client, and I'm putting their thoughts, their emotions, their energy of where they see the vision of this project on the big screen. Okay, so and that's what makes me excited about what we're doing. It excites me about storyboarding, because you're developing the blueprint that all the other artisans that are working on that feature film or feature animation or cartoon or comic or whatever you're doing, you're setting that blueprint out, and that is, to me, exciting. You get to that first stab at being the director of that particular film, or filming that sequence, and that is just amazing. It's a great feeling. So again, back to it. So let's get drawing, guys. Any more questions? Okay, great conversation we have going here. But let's draw. Come on, let's get going. Let's get these sketches going and have some fun. I gotta get warmed up here. I drew this quick little drawing here of this character just real quick, and it's let me put these together here. Okay, so let me back out a little bit here. Let's move you over. Okay, so we got this here, going here, go like this a little bit. Okay, so we got our drawing, and this is let's go sort of traditional here. And I'm just using a simple brush. Get this down a little bit. And I think it's sort of funny because when you're drawing, everything they base, and when you're learning to draw a face, you're learning like the circle, right? You learn, you have your circle, and you sort of have your breakdowns of how your head is going to be, you know, and you know, and you'll see online, you know, all these, and it's true because, but we're not, you'll see all these diagrams like this, and they'll sit there and they'll go, this is the brow, and this is the nose or whatever, you know, and if the nose is this long, you know, your eyes will be here, and here's your chin and your mouth and all that stuff. And if you're drawing a beautiful illustration and you need to be right on point, this is, follow these lessons. These are great lessons, and I'm just not going to spend a whole heck of a lot of time going over there. I'm going to talk about my cheats and how I draw, and you know, sort of, because I'm not going to sit there and do all this line work for a drawing of a female face that's going to be up on the screen for less than a second, or a second. You know, why would, you know? Now, if I'm an illustrator, go do this. You know, go make sure everything is proper in proportion and perspective and all those things. So let me turn that off again. Let's try that again. So when I'm drawing, I draw different ways, and I'm not saying my way is the right way. It's just what sort of works for me. You know, you'll say, and I think we've talked about this before. So if I'm drawing a masculine face, I'll draw it in a square, okay? And if I'm drawing a female face, it's going to be rounded. I'm going to use that circle or oval in terms of what I'm doing. And what I mean by that is, you know, we were talking about, you know, we're looking at strength. We're looking at those, you know, that foundation, you know. We're looking at, you know, when we see curves, we think of soft, genteel, you know, those type of those things. And then also one thing I didn't talk. I want to move this female face over a little bit. Come on, you can move. And the other one too is like a triangle. Triangle is sharp, whether it be like this or like this, as you're drawing those faces. So let's add another layer on there, and let's sort of play around with this and the way I sort of work, you know. And let's just say, okay, now I have that layer here, and I want a strong, I wasn't going to go over this time, but just a strong male face. And I'll sit there and I'll, you know, work that out a little bit here, you know, and I'll do that face real quick like this, and it's going to be a strong face. I'm going to have that chin, strong chin. I'm going to have the jowl here. You know, maybe that eye is too close, and that's what's beautiful about Photoshop. We just grab it, move that eye on over, and we get some ears. Bring that back there. We have those ears on there. We can have some fun with this as a male face. It's more angular. It's those type of things, and you can have all sorts of fun with this. And if I was to add a little bit of character to this guy, let's give him a cool little mustache. Give me old goatee here. He's got some crazy hair. He's got it pulled back. Sort of almost looks like Sean Connery. Give him the from what's it called? The Highlander Ramirez. There we go. And now we have that character right there, and you got that sort of idea of what we're doing there. Okay, let's try, that angle character. I think of this triangle character like this, and it's like maybe that person is a little bit more stylized, but maybe their angle is up to no good. When you think about that character, maybe that character is shifty in terms of that angle. And then let's talk about that female character again. Let's turn that off and turn him off. And let's talk about the circle character of that female. She's softer. And, she's here, and I'll just draw her nose here. I have my little, she's softer, she's ready to go here. And she's here. She's got that softness to her. She's got the ears still. Get her hair up here. And here we are just doing a simple, just on a basic circle. Maybe she's the 1950s character or something like that. Terms of what we're doing here. So we can have some fun with it, but then that's all we're trying to talk about, is talking about these simple shapes of a circle, square, triangle. We've talked about these different characters here of, how do we make that all work? Again, like I said, I got the Ramirez, got the female character there, just based on these basic shapes. Let's take a look at the... Okay, so Ronnie was just saying, I'm just practicing different art styles of faces. Yeah, when you're trying, I would have some fun. Pick a male faces, female faces, play around with those. I think there's all different challenges that you can give yourself as you're learning to draw faces. Not all faces are the same. Have some fun with it. Draw, not just your typical, head shape. Try different hairstyles. Go through the, there's so much stuff on Pinterest and Google searches and stuff like that. If you're looking for a 1950s hairstyle or early Victorian style or today's style, you go and look at the, what is it, Jennifer Aniston with a Friends hairstyle or whatever it might be. Just practice those things. Try different ethnicities, everybody's face is shaped different and noses are different and cheeks and ears and necks and skinny and more robust and buxom. There's all different ways you can draw. And then we're not even talking about clothing and jewelry and makeup fashion, and there's so many different things that you can draw. So practice those things and challenge yourself with those things too. GRT State 31, lots of laughs. Ramirez, The Highlander was a documentary where the events happened in real time. Master Shake, sorry, I couldn't resist. Yeah, nope, no problem. Highlander's always been a fan favorite film of mine. That's a good one. And I was just watching John Wick, the latest installment, and what was his name? Oh, man, I totally forgot his name. Who played the Kurgan in the Highlander? He was in there and played in that too. Clancy Brown, yeah, Clancy Brown, who played the Kurgan in the Highlander. Very cool. Loving the use of shape language as the character design. It is so true. I think I talked about it before on one of the previous broadcasts. I'm originally from California, came out here to the East Coast for family reasons and stuff, but grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and whenever I had the opportunity, I would drive or fly down to Los Angeles. I loved hanging out in Los Angeles all the time. We were working and stuff, but I would sneak over. I don't know, for those of you that know Steven Silver, good guy. Have a lot of good times going. He had a studio down in Southern California, and he'd bring in live models, and then we would draw the models. And I remember the first time I ever went, boy, I was like, there was a young lady dressed up as Harley Quinn and for the comic character, and we were drawing her, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious, man, my drawings were so bad. I was just like, oh my god. So anytime I got a chance to do a live drawing, I'd go back over to Steven's studio, and it was just fun, and just doing these drawings, and it's just like we were talking about pencil mileage. You got to put the time into it, and I definitely did, and it was good stuff. And I kept some of those drawings. Maybe I'll show them on the live stream one of these days. But I show my horrible artwork. So Ronnie, yeah, I can draw poorly too. And in the past, it's like, oh my god, can I really do this? So good stuff. Yeah, so Juan Emmanuel, loving the shape language. So back to Steven. Steven's a fantastic character designer. I caught his stuff early on back in the day, when he was doing like the animated Mallrats, cartoon, and then he went on to do the design, concept designs for the characters for, God, what was it? Kim Possible for Disney, and just fantastic person overall. And then GRT's, wow, it's amazing how, Tornado T it's amazing how much the use of shape and silhouette can influence the feel of a character. So again, back to these basic shapes real quick, and I keep hounding on this because I'm not here to do concept design, and this is a lot of the concept design, but I'm going to go back. Let's just erase all this real quick, get a new one, and this goes for your storyboards as well, friends. And that is, even when you think about it this way, and that's why I'm taking off a tangent, is because somebody asked on Tuesday what was the difference between comic books and storyboarding. And to me, in my opinion, they're two different things, two different ways you communicate. Where you have a panel in a comic book, you read from, in Western comics, you go from left to right, left to right, top to bottom, in terms of how you read that, and the way the artist is laying out those panel structure, and the way the writer's written and how they put the word balloons. it's guiding your eye into that shape and form, into that layout. And a lot of the things I've seen for Marvel editors and things like that is just having this simple, don't break the bounding box, stay in the bounding box and get those things done. And you're creating the what happened in that frame before or that panel before in the gutter. In a sense, you're looking at an image, white space, image, white space, image, white, as you're reading. The gutters are small, but it gives as you're looking, it's giving your mind a second and you're filling in the blank of what the next shot is. Storyboard's completely different. We need to actually show you. There is no blank. You're not sitting there, maybe in something fun like the Scott Pilgrim movie, where it's sort of comic booky type of movie, but in a live action film, there is no gutter. You have to explain what's going on, and we use that shape language to explain that, or give what we call subtext to the piece, and that's where you're drawing. So if I have then we go back to just that shape language again, and if I'm drawing let's say I'm just drawing here, and I have a bunch of verticals, it's going to give you a different feel than something that's all circles. And it'll give you a different feel than a triangle. And then we talk about composition, and we talk about all these different things. So when we're going and we're talking about just drawing a simple character's face, I sort of always go back to what we were talking about. This is what we sort of went off on this tangent a little bit. So we talk about our circle, we talk about our square, we talk about our triangle, we talk about our sphere, we talk about our rectangle. Each symbol or shape has its own feeling, and I've talked about this before in our. It's it's soft. This is sort of normal, strong, or boxed in. Like, let's just say I have my character. Hi. He's boxed in. He's trapped. It's a jail cell. Or it's strong, meaning like, I'm strong. This is sharp. You're uneasy. The oval is the same type of thing, but more based on this. These are about the same, and these are about the same. We talk about and if I'm tilting my triangle like that, or something like that, 90 degree, you have that sort of that Dutch angle. You're feeling off center. So shape language has a lot to do with everything for your cinematic shots that you're doing for your storyboards, as well as just drawing the face. So let's go back over to it. It's amazing, yeah. So Tornado T said it was amazing how much the use of shape and silhouette can influence the feel of the character. So true, so true. And again, I appreciate everybody at home joining in on the live stream. Again, my name is Paul Angeli. I am a live action storyboard artist, and I appreciate you taking the time to be with me personally tonight on the live stream or catching this on the replay. Please, if you're getting some great value, all I ask in return is to support the channel. Please watch the other videos I have. We have I think we're up to the point we're almost at 30 plus hours worth of, video content, all lessons, stuff you can learn from. And all I ask is for, you to take the time to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell notification button so you know when the next video is posting. You already know I'm posting on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I do have been trying to get a lot more shorts out this week, or just quick drawings that I'm doing like I did earlier today. But I hope this is giving you some great value, and I'd appreciate that back for you. And that's the only ask I have. So, okay, Let's continue drawing. Let's get some ladies drawn here, and sort of how I go about this formulaic way. Let me you can sort of see the young lady I drew right there. Let me take a sip of my half and half, my half iced tea, half lemonade. Love this stuff. Wet my whistle, and let's get drawing. All artists draw different ways, and I'm not saying that's a perfect way, but when I'm boarding and stuff, I try to use simple lines because I don't want to spend a lot of time. And I think in silhouette too. Sometimes you think of like a Hellboy, the comic artist who created Hellboy, Mike Mignola, and his black and white, way he draws. I think a lot about like how Darwin Cook draws as well. Bruce Timm, Shane Glimes. There's a lot of fantastic illustrators and comic artists out there, and they do some fantastic work, some beautiful drawings of women, faces. I tend to go older in terms of, I know there's a lot of styles out there, and I like old stuff. Maybe it's just me. I tend to migrate towards early golden age comics, the way they drew stuff. And I sort of do a lot of research and a lot of studying that way, and then I added in. I think I had mentioned. I think it's Jose Gonzalez, he went by Pepe Gonzalez, that did Vampirilla, and I just love the way that Pepe would crank out this work, and just everything was dip pen and ink, and just beautiful women he would draw, or or something. I would say another person I love his work. Robert McGinnis. I don't know if you've seen his movie posters for James Bond, Thunderball, or whatever. This guy just knew, and I just love that 1950s, 60s flair and romanticism of drawing spies or Sean Connery or the women, or whatever. It was just so cool, and I like that style a lot personally. So I tend to sort of use that. Andreas, oh, thanks, Andreas. Andreas just added in. Thanks for joining, Andreas. Getting closer to 500 subs. Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. I really appreciate everybody taking it. It's to me, it means a lot to me, because it's like I started this. I was inspired by quite a few people, and they said, "Hey, Paul, why don't you start teaching?" and I said, "Okay, cool. I'll start teaching." And that sounds good. I used to be an instructor. And back in the when did I start teaching? I think I was teaching, late 90s, early 2000s. I was teaching at a local university, then my alma mater that I went to, and I was teaching classes. One of my buddies was the dean of the undergraduate program, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come in and teach?" So I took him up on it, and was teaching Photoshop and stuff like that. So it was interesting being on the other side, but I've always loved teaching, and I hope you guys are learning and having fun with this. So thanks, Andreas. Appreciate that. Steve Rude has a 70s Toth vibe. Yeah, we were talking about Toth the other day, and just that type of style, that simplistic style. So let's get drawing. I'm doing a lot of talking, but we're having a great conversation. I really appreciate everybody dropping some lines in the chat, but let me go ahead and get some drawing in. So I do sort of funky stuff when I'm drawing. I tend to think of the nose first, and I'm just using simple shapes here, and then from there I sort of think of the lips in terms of what I'm doing, when I'm drawing. And I tend to, and when I'm thinking, it's an interesting way of how to explain this as I'm drawing this. And in a sense, I'm sort of, I always think of that triangle. I see it in my head in terms of what I'm doing. I'll leave that triangle up and go back to my drawing. I'm just thinking, I've done it so many times, and I just sort of think about those things. I might have different eyes that I'm doing for my female character. I don't know if I'm thinking of points or what it is in my mind as I'm going, in terms of what I'm doing here. Let's just say I have the eyelashes there. And if I'm just looking at a forward face, then I'll just come in. I'll think of those shapes. In terms of what I'm doing, and I'll add in those shapes. I'll come in. And that's how I sort of think a little bit. I'm not saying this is the perfect way. And sometimes, let's just say I have this drawing here. Let's get rid of the triangle. I keep it sort of simple. But let's say it's that shape, and then we could always embellish it. I remember back when I was in my undergraduate degree, I did a lot of sculpting, and my big time. What's funny is my big thing. I wanted to work at Industrial Lights and Magic and work in their creature shop. And the only thing that was different is they went on to do a lot of 3D, and I remember they weren't hiring at the time on the creature shop, but I was a sculptor and doing a lot of sculpting too. And I took this theater makeup class, thinking I was going to be able to make creatures and monsters and something like you'd see on that show Face Off. And I was so excited about this. And I remember the first day I got to class, and the teacher says, "Okay, you got to buy this book," and I'm like, "Okay, bye." And then you got to buy this makeup kit, and I was like, "What? Makeup kit? What do I need a makeup kit for?" It had, and it had base foundation and different makeup sticks and stuff like that. I'm like, this isn't no creature effect thing, but I guess my professor found out what I was interested in, and she was so awesome, and she helped me get latex foam. I did a big plaster cast of my head, and I did all sorts of creatures and latex masks and all sorts of crazy foam, applications and all sorts of stuff. But when I'm thinking and drawing and stuff like that, I sort of remember that back in the day, as you're putting the foundation, and when I'm drawing a woman or whatever, I'm like putting on her makeup in a sense. And Bob Mackie, working with Cher or whatever, and I just sort of have fun with it as I'm drawing. So anyway, back to the drawing. Going off on these tangents, but they're fun to talk about. So I have my character here, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll just drop in a little bit of hair just to see where I'm going. Maybe this character has more of the pixie cut type of thing going on here. And so I'll add that hair on there a little bit. See how she's doing. Okay, something like that. And then maybe I'll just keep going with this, and we'll try a few different styles. I'll show you how I draw a little bit. So you got rocking the pixie cut. Maybe add another layer in there. Maybe I'll come in and tone this. And sometimes I will draw just in black like this. Okay, and then what I do is I come back in and go boop. I add that drop shadow, a little bit of cheeky bone in there, the hair. Maybe we start working on that makeup a little bit. And sometimes, how we have the lips there, maybe we can do something like that too. The eyes, in terms of what we're doing, and then we add that little highlight on the lips. Highlights on the eyes. And here we have as a quick character that we're drawing. Maybe she's a pixie type girl. Let's give her see how much space I got here. Did I use the whole thing? Maybe she's rocking some t-shirt thing. And then I sort of can have some fun now. Not using any reference. I'm just sort of hanging out with you guys. Then I can just start having fun with the we can make it really crazy. Get your heart rocking. Get our little fairy queen going on here. Here, what else am I gonna do? Just having fun with this. I don't know why when I'm doing my drawings too, I just go crazy on the earring things. I just like just have fun with it. It's like doing makeup. Give her some sort of necklace here or something. Something like that. This is just a simple drawing, nothing fancy. Then you could always come back in. Oops. Just make sure looking good. In terms of what we're doing. There we go. I have this character here that we drew in terms of what we're doing here. So let me see how else. Kiri, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you jumping in. Thanks for sharing your process and experiences with us. Yeah, no problem. I'm so filled with so many stories and stuff. So good, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you so much for joining in. Let's draw another character here. Grab that and we'll call. Oops, no, I don't want to delete it. I want to group it. Oh God, let's call it. And you can play with it if it's not right. Whoop, we got that up there. Okay, and then let's do another drawing here. And a lot of people teach too. So when they're teaching how to draw, let's go back to this again. They sort of base it on that circle type system, split it in half, and you sort of have your. This would be your brow level, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. It would come down, and we can sort of see that here in terms of what we're doing. And I have my system of how I work, so I can work quick. I use simple brushes in terms of what I'm doing and how I'm thinking. You know, maybe she has hair like that, and that's, you know, if we're just quick and dirty, you know, and maybe she's some sort of samurai warrior, princess, ninja girl or something. You know what I mean? It's like we can just have fun with this, and it's, you know, when I'm drawing, it's not like taking a ton of time. I'm looking at those points that I want to focus on. and knock it out, you know, and knock that drawing out. Same thing goes for your side profile too. Let's just say, because a lot of people show, okay, I got a box here, you know, it's like a shield of some sort, you know, you're going down the box, here's my ear, you know, maybe my nose tilts up a little bit like this, got my lips, in terms of what you're doing here, how you're doing it. These are all different ways that you can draw. And there's no perfect way. It just is like what works for you. You know, they can come in and let's try some eyebrows in there real quick. You sort of get the idea. We're drawing these things just rapidly, boom, 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 get this done. Or sometimes when I'm drawing a character, maybe I'll come down and I'll just drop down the opacity of it like this. And I have my underline drawing. And I'll come back in. Just have some fun with this. You can sort of get the idea where I'm going with it on that side profile. I hope you guys are having fun with this. I hope I'm excited to see where your drawings are going and how you're drawing. Another drawing off. So get the idea of what I'm doing. And we're sort of doing a side profile here of this particular character and stuff. So it makes it fun, you know, and play around with the other character. Let's go back to that other one. I think everybody liked the when we were drawing the samurais last Thursday. A lot of people watched it, and I thought I was so impressed that so many people wanted to draw samurais. That was great. A little bit more enhancement on this little. We're just having fun, knocking this stuff out. Not a lot of detail, but it shows you how I sort of work. And you don't need a lot of drawing to make this work. Just using some simple colors, knocking these out. So having some fun with this. Let me take a sip here of my drink. I hope you guys are having a fun time. I really appreciate you joining in. Like I said on the chat, Kiri was like, thanks for sharing your processes and experience with us. No problem. And Tornado T, I'm enjoying the process. Cool. I'm glad you are. Let me take a sip of my drink here. I'll wet that whistle. Whew. See what's our time, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We're having some fun here, but I hope you're learning from this, and that's my main motivation of what we're trying to do. We've talked about a lot of different things here in terms of drawing female faces, and so let's challenge ourselves. Let's just throw something out there. Let's turn these layers off. I'm gonna put a save on here so we can save this. Let's have some fun here. Okay, so we're teaching all different ways of just how I draw, how you can draw and do these things. Another thing that you good folks can do is sometimes what I'll do is I'll just draw like this too. Show you different styles, and sometimes it all depends. We were talking about shapes. Just think about those shapes too, and what can we learn from those shapes? So let's play this little game here. We're going to use those grays here. Let's lighten those up just a tad bit. Okay, so we have 2 different shapes here. So what are the drawings that we can play with from there? So let's have some fun with this, and we were talking about shape language, and let's sort of have some fun with this. Let's just say and remember how I was talking about points. I'm just sort of thinking in terms of like that. Think of that shape language right now. Grab these eyes a little bit. Get some brows on there. Go ahead and draw the lips on this one here. Drawing these female faces here. And you think about that simple shape of that oval, and we created this character based on that little oval shape. And then there's your character, and here's our oval. Oops. There's our oval shape. And then we can always come in. Have those different flavors. Okay, so that's one character. Let's try another one real quick. And use this other shape. We drew something. How about we draw? We'll do this one beautiful too. Oops. Get that black in here. I'll draw her beautiful too, but just a little bit different. We're just showing this sort of shape exercise a little bit. In terms of what we're doing. And we can play around with this too. Add some more shape knowledge to it a couple different ways. Come in there. Now you're using shapes to create your characters. Just using that simple shape. And we're just having fun with this. We have so much character come out of this. And what we can do too. Using that simple shape, we're creating this crazy female character with not a lot of work. Grips was great. So all this came from these two characters, two different drawings of women, just with a shape. And I think it's a fun little exercise to play around with and have some fun. So here's just a basic shape. And we created some cool characters. One more harsh, you know, using those those shapes, and another character soft, demure. You know, one is like this one is, she's pretty hard. She's like a rocker chick or something. You know, you never know. She could sit there and, man, she doesn't have a care for the world. You're gonna have fun with this, you know, just she's just a hardcore rocker chick. That's what's fun about, once you master everything, you can just sort of play around with this stuff and just like, she's got the 80s rocking. Unless she has something pretty and pink thing going on there. Change what you're doing. That's sort of funny. That's sort of cool. Well, I'm glad you're having fun with this. Yeah, lots of, yeah, she's a rocker chick. Hey, what do you call the? What do they? You know, this is the devil girl. This is the girl with the halo. Have some fun with it. Okay. Let's draw some more. We're having fun with this, and let's continue. I hope everybody's having a good time. We'll keep going here. If you guys are having fun, we'll keep going and have some fun with this. I'm having a good time drawing with you. So I hope you are. Let me know in the chat. Again, if you're having a good time with these live streams, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It lets me know that you support the channel and supporting what we're doing here. And it means a lot to me for you taking the time to do that. So thanks so much. Sincerely appreciate it. So thanks, folks. Okay, let's draw some more. I'm still energized. I'm still going. If you're still going too, friends, we'll keep rocking this thing. Okay, so let's see where. So we talked about all different types of ways. Let me do another way of how I can draw faces too, and see what works for you good folks at home. So let's let these ladies go and throw a little save on there. So we can save this stuff. Maybe I'll publish it. I'm looking forward to it. And please don't forget, everybody, Tornado T, Kiri, G Artist 831, Andreas, Ronnie, Gabby, everybody. Barat's on here. Barat, if you're on here, and if you're not, I'm hoping you caught me on the replay. Good to see you. But everybody, yeah, I'm excited to see your work. Please share it with me. Go to my Instagram handle. Just shoot me a DM. Share the work. I know, you know, my buddy Andreas has been sharing a lot of work, as well as Gabby and Ronnie. I love seeing your work, and I try to give you a few minutes of my time, give you some novel critiques, and help you out a little bit. But I think one of the big things is just make this stuff your own. Do your own drawings, you know, and have some fun with it. Okay, so another quick little way I draw. Let me just see where my pen's going here. Okay. Is sometimes I draw like this. You'll see me like on a simplified version. You'll see me do something like this. If I'm like drawing that, you see me with little cheats like this. Like that, and it'll just be a quick little drawing. I'm thinking in terms of gesture. I'm thinking in terms of just, we were talking about at the beginning of the live stream. Sometimes you just got to get it down, and sometimes when I'm boarding, I'll do that, and I'll just get it down, man. Just real quick, because this is like if we're drawing this board and this panel, and maybe she's got some sort of I don't know what she has, some sort of staff or something here, whatever it might be. I'll tend to just to think quickly, and think of gesture as I'm drawing, and then just try to rip it out real quick. But what I'm trying to say is keep it simple, get the drawing down, and then move on. And then you can always iterate over those drawings. Ronnie just jumped in, gonna log off for the night. I got quite a few faces, and hey, listen, Ronnie, I'm looking forward to seeing what you came up with. Cool. Going to post some on my story right now. Hoping the live stream goes well. Good night, Ronnie. Really appreciate you joining in, and it means a lot to me for you folks out of the way. If you can't make it to the live stream, for those that have been popping into the live stream, it means a lot to me, messaging me, and I have these up on the replay, so if you can't watch the whole episode or you got other things to be doing, watch this on your own time. And I try to make it convenient for you because I want to make sure you're learning these things and you're focusing on those things. So Ronnie, I'll take a look at as soon as I'm done tonight. If you're able to post, or I'll see it first thing in the morning once I get some shut-eye. Okay? So thanks for joining. Okay, so another little cheat I sort of do. I showed that little one here where it was, is when I'm drawing, sometimes I'll just draw this shape like that, and the way I'm thinking, let's just say this is our general, that shape, not so much on shape language, but just shape. Okay, let's say I have that shape there. Let's copy and paste that shape as well. Okay, so I have that shape there. Maybe with that shape, I'll drop it down a little bit here too. Boom. And I'm thinking like I would a drawing, where I have my lines in that drawing, nose, mouth, chin, those type of things, and the ears. I'm thinking like this all the time. Top of the head, top of the brow. As we're drawing that drawing, in terms of what we're doing. And sometimes I'll be thinking about it as in eye sockets too, nose, mouth, neck, undershadow of the chin, sort of the hair. Maybe with this one we'll just do some sort of hair like that. Earrings, I'm just thinking out loud, I'm just working on that stuff, and I'm just thinking of it. If it's a side profile, maybe I'm just sort of locking in those shapes as we're talking. The hair, crazy hair on her, whatever it might be. I'm just thinking of those shapes, and you know, what we can always do is we knock down the opacity of these things, and then maybe I'll come back in and I'll do the drawing, you know, in terms of what we're doing here. Let's work on eyes on this one. Here she is. I haven't drawn anybody with big eyes. Add a little bit of motion. As we're thinking here. Maybe she's oops. Befuddled princess. And here I'm not using any type of reference, we're just sort of going with it and having fun with this. As we're drawing these faces. Let's get that. We can always come back in there. Add some emotion there with that character. There she is. So we have her befuddled princess. We'll leave her there. Bring back that grayscale palette. Work on this other character real quick. Get her going. This one right here. Trying to think of what we can do with her. And here we're just having some fun with this, just going wacko with the hair. There's just so many different ways. Maybe she's the evil stepmother or something. And that's what we're having fun with these, how to draw faces. In terms of what we're doing. The other thing I was doing too, remember I was talking about my blacks, and sometimes I'll just downplay it like this. Excuse me. As you see, we're creating this beautiful drawing just off some simple lines, and we have the princess, and we can do this in all different varieties. We can get it darker for her, or just have a couple layers. Definitely having fun with this, but you get the idea of where we're going with this one. Oops. You're gonna go all different ways with this. So there's another little tip and trick and way. So we started all these drawings out with nothing. We started off with just this here, and we came up with this drawing based on this little shape over here. Hopefully you can see that, or my face is covered up. Let's move our canvas over a little bit. Just got the idea of this particular character here, and then from there we have this character based on that drawing there. So pretty cool stuff, just using some simple drawing tricks and stuff like that to have fun with what we're doing, and have some fun here. Again, all of you joining me live, appreciate you being on the stream. I hope you guys are having a fun time. We'll go a little bit longer, and then you at home watching the replay, sincerely appreciate you taking the time. I know a lot of you good friends out there are watching these live streams on the replay, because I see everybody watching. And I hope you at home, if you're watching this on the replay, again, thanks for taking the time to watch these videos. Remember, real quick, take a quick little thing here just to talk about what we have going on. If you're just catching the broadcast towards the end of it, again, real quick, my programming that I have for the week, is on Tuesdays. We're doing the storyboarding, mastering the basics. Thursdays we're doing sketching after hours like we are tonight, and then on Saturdays we're doing the storyboard jam sessions, which are lots of fun. So if you are a storyboard artist, whether you're professional right now or you want to get into this craft, really appreciate you joining this channel and subscribing, because we go over all the fundamentals, like I said, on Tuesdays. On Thursdays like tonight, we just sort of hang out, draw together, teach you some tips and tricks to help you get better at your drawing and fill up that sketchbook. And then on Saturdays we're doing the jam sessions. I have a lot of exciting things planned for the month of December as we go forward. I think this is number 22 or 23 in the live streams we've been doing so far. We have, I believe it's got to be at least well over 30 hours worth of storyboarding content to get you going. If this is a passion of yours, whether you're doing it for live action, feature, you know, animated serialized cartoon show, even if you're using this for comic books, there's a lot of similarities. Also for your commercial advertising, video games, or your client corporate videos. We always need storyboard artists out there, and we need a lot of great visual storytellers. We help to create what we see on our streaming channels, or our movie theaters, or our television sets, or cable stations. I don't even know if that exists, or I guess your cable stations with your like Xfinity or whatever, but or even direct to video. There's so many great animated shows coming through DC, just straight through animated videos, straight to video. So many different things, and then we have the world of YouTube as well. So again, my name is Paul Angeli. I'm a live action storyboard artist, and I appreciate you joining our Sketching After Hours. So let's do a little bit more sketching before we call it a night, and have some more fun here. So I'm gonna take that off here. Let's see, what am I going to draw next? What's this crazy brain of mine thinking? Okay. And I hope you guys are all having a good time out there. I'm really excited to see what your drawings look like. Okay, so we've tried all different ways here in terms of our drawings. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to use my little cheat system here for my head. Bring that up here. Move that down a little bit. Add another layer here. Sort of think where I'm going to go with this drawing right now. Sometimes I'll play with those shapes a little bit and those colors and just sort of drop it down a little bit. Okay, so nebulous nominous. Can you draw a cat? Okay, maybe we'll draw a cat real quick. Let me finish this this drawing real quick. That's funny. I was thinking of this character. FM Hansen, love these live streams. Thank you. You're welcome. Glad you enjoy them. Having fun doing them with you too. I work hard all day and then come back over and do these with you good folks. So I have fun too. Today we're focused on drawing faces. And predominantly women. Maybe another one will draw men. And that's what's fun about when you practice so much. Like, I haven't used any reference. If I want to hone in on stuff, then maybe I'll do some reference, in with these drawings in terms of what I'm doing and stuff. But just having fun with it, having fun drawing with you guys, sketching around in terms of what I'm doing. So, good stuff. Getting close to time. Let's see here. Add a new window. Let's see here. Let's do. Close that up very quick. Let's try again. Mr. Whiskers. There's Scroungy Cat here. Never had a request yet. Mr. Whiskers. We'll stop right there. Okay. I got your cat on there. There you go. Nebulous Nominous. There's your cat. He sounds like a Harry Potter cat or something. Okay. There we go. Well, I got a cat there for you. Crazy cat. Anyways, I hope that's fun. FM Hansen, love the live streams. Well, I hope you guys have all had a great time tonight. I've had a good time with you too. You know, we've done all sorts of drawings tonight on females and getting these drawings going and having fun with them. So we'll leave our live stream how we started for tonight based on the drawings that we're doing. I hope you guys got a lot of great value out of tonight's live stream. Please take a few moments, and I'd love to see your artwork on my Instagram feed. Just throw me a DM over there. Love to see your artwork and how you took on the ladies and drawing faces tonight. So I appreciate each and every one of you joining in on the live stream, on this live broadcast, or you caught it on the replay. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I appreciate it. It lets me know that you're interested in seeing more, and I'll continue cranking out some of these great live streams. Like I said before, I got some great things planned for all of you in the month of December, and as we go forward, as we grow this channel, we're almost there at 500 subscribers within the last couple months, and it just means the world to me that you're supporting me and what we're trying to do here to help other artists grow with whatever way you're going into visual storytelling, whether you're going to want to be a board artist for live action feature or whatever your heart desires on where you're trying to go. And I hope these live sessions help you get out of your creative funk, help you fill up that sketchbook, teach you some simple basic tips and tricks that I do to get these boards cranked out and have some fun. Again, thanks for everybody that joined in. Andrea said that's a crazy cat. That cat was like maybe a Pet Cemetery type of cat I drew. I was thinking about that in one of our live stream sessions. Maybe we'll do household pets or farm animals or something like that and have some fun with that. So Andreas, that was a crazy cat. Yep, that was Tornado T. It was great. Paul, love seeing the drawings and the overall process. Not a problem. Gabby, thanks a lot. Andreas, great fun and practice. Again, Paul, have a good night. Again, have a great night, everybody. I will see you on the next live stream. I'll leave you with my closing information right here, and I hope you guys have a great night. We'll catch you in the next one.